Hello and welcome to Real Estate Vibes, the talk series of construction philosophy, CP we call it for short. The magazine has been around for the last 3 years and we have been around even during the COVID on the web with webinars featuring major names in the construction industry across the country. And we are happy to have with us today in this series Sri Kochouseph Chittilappilli, who's not just a construction man, who's much more than that. Starting out a journey in 1977 as an entrepreneur, Sri Kochouseph Chittilappilli has traveled a long distance, not just in business and industry, but in life, meeting people, talking to people, giving hope to people, and doing many things that are good for this society. We are indeed proud and privileged to have Sri Kochouseph Chittilappilli with us today, and we are certainly hopeful that this chat with Sri Chittilappilli will be an educative, enlightening, and an entertaining experience for each one of us. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Gouridasan.
Yeah, we have come a long way. You have come a long way in life. All of us across the world have come a long way in life, especially during the last 3-4 years. We had financial problems, then on top of it, we had our COVID pandemic. How do you see the construction industry across India coming out of this pandemic? Are we there with positives or are we there with more challenges than positives?
Yeah, as you said earlier, now we are also had a lot of issues at the time of COVID time. The sales has gone down. Construction was not possible certain times because of lockdown, but slowly by slowly things have improved. Now I have to say that we have come back. As far as we are concerned, we have come back to the normal, slightly better than the earlier period.
Why? How could we come back stronger? Like if you look at the construction scene across India, as you said rightly, the industry has really bounced back. Why do you think it is so? Is it pent-up demand that was there and which could not be satisfied?
I believe whatever said and done, India, we have a intrinsic power.
Yeah.
Now we have large number of population, and many of them are educated, many of them are employed, many of them are earning. So they need facilities, more and more facilities. So that was a pent-up demand there for the last 3 years. So suddenly, once the corona issue is over, immediately it has reacted, and I believe not only in our case, all the construction companies, they have come back, almost back to the normal.
Yeah. During the COVID period, we saw the large number of migration of, reverse migration of our workers, most of who are from Northeast India. And it was such a heartbreaking scene. You are much more than a builder. How did you see that?
That way, even in the COVID period, except the serious lockdown days, we were trying our level best to continue the constructions.
Yeah.
Because we had commitments, so we had to fulfill those commitments. So we tried our level best to retain the workers, especially the migrant laborers, giving them all the facilities and keeping them comfortable. So as far as we are concerned, the constructions were going on even in the COVID period.
Was this true of others also? Were many of the others doing this? But I don't think so.
Because that requires a lot of other parameters also. You must have an attitude towards that. You may have to spend a little more for their livelihood than. But we took it as a challenge. We decided, okay, we will help them. And finally, that gave results.
Yeah. One thing that has hit the industry as it tried to come back is the sudden spurt in the material costs. Cement is costing more, steel is costing more. I think every material that is used by the construction industry, the price has gone up. How are you meeting that challenge?
Yeah, definitely, it is a sad situation. Definitely, we were forced to increase our prices,
Yeah.
increase our selling prices. No other way.
Yeah.
Because all the basic materials, including plastic and all other items, the cost has gone up. So definitely, we revised our prices.
Yeah.
And people are ready to accept it because
What percentage of price hike are you talking
not
about?
very high.
Yeah.
Say, I believe definitely 15 to 20%.
15 to 20%.
Yeah.
What was the kind of ongoing price pre-COVID? Like, for a what do you call a middle level apartment or a villa?
As you know, we are mainly concentrating medium class people.
Okay.
Not very upper class,
Okay.
not very lower class. So our apartments are generally say 1,200, 1,500, around 2,000 up to 2,000 square feet area.
Yeah.
So that means they are all employed people, not very rich. So they have their own limitations. So definitely we try to arrange bank loans. We give all directions how to get a bank loan. We help them out and reach out to get loans, and that way. And more than that, the quality, the construction quality is very, very important.
Yeah.
Because when we produce a product like whether it is a Veegaland or any other, when compared to all that, this is the construction, the apartment is their lifetime achievement,
Yeah.
their ambition, their dream. So we have to fulfill those aspirations. So quality is very, very important. Even though we are giving say 1 year guarantee or another few years again support guarantee, I believe this has to withstand years and years, decades and decades. So that way, right from the beginning, the designing and even the construction, that means the structural construction. So we give lot of importance for the quality aspects.
In that sense, would it be correct to say, I mean, from what you are talking about, would it be correct to say that this is more a hand-holding between the buyer and the seller than a business, just selling it and forgetting it?
Yeah, definitely. When compared to many other giants, we entered into the real estate market very recently.
Yeah.
That means just 8 years back, when compared to many other giants.
And lost 2 years in between.
In between.
Maybe not lost.
Yeah, there was a setback. Yeah. So what I have noticed, there is a demand for a quality or a responsible builder. Responsible builder, I underline it because there are many people simply constructed and not only looking after the guarantee, but no other norms, including the very the safety norms, the quality norms, violating the rules. So that way we had a reputation, we had a goodwill, and that we were very strict to maintain that goodwill and reputation as far as quality is concerned. So as a responsible builder, we have enough customers. Of course, our prices are slightly higher than many others.
Yeah.
Still, people are ready to buy.
Yeah, there is, I mean, when you talk about quality, there is this process of due diligence, which we have in law. One problem with the housing sector is that somebody wants to buy, a new family, a small family wants to buy a house. They reach out to you, come to one of your front offices and ask you for the price, you make an offer, etc., etc. Sometimes they bite, sometimes they don't. But in between, there is no process of, I mean, mostly very little process of due diligence happening from the on the side of the buyer. I mean, how do you help them out? I mean, do you think, I mean, in terms of hand holding, how do you look at that?
Definitely, most of the buyers, as you know, they may not be a technical person.
Yeah.
They do not know anything about the intricacies of the construction. So we are trying our level best to educate them why we are slightly costly, what are the materials we are using, and what are the specialities we are implementing. Those aspects we give a lot of informations. Whether they buy or not, it's immaterial. We give them a lot of inputs. Whether they go and buy something else also, it will help them. So that is our attitude. We try to educate them to the maximum as far as civil construction is concerned. Because we can't, very ordinary person, they can't identify whether it's a good quality product or a inferior quality product. So that way, we give them a lot of inputs.
So you would say quality is the responsibility of the builder and not the buyer.
Definitely, responsibility of the builder, because we can't blame the buyers because they are quite ignorant. As I said earlier, many of them are not at all technical people. They do not know the details of the specifications even. So that way, I appreciate the RERA rules and regulations, the new guidelines. Actually, I really welcome them in the sense, many people used to curse, we have one more rule, we have an additional rule, we have municipality, we have that division.
Town and country planning. I know.
Then one more
level of control.
Level of control.
Yeah.
I strongly believe, I appreciate that type of controls because there are many incidents happened. Many of them burned their fingers, investing their hard-earned money and not yet materialized. Some constructions are halfway in between. So that way, I appreciate the new rules, regulations.
Yeah. But when we talk about quality and cost being higher, what is it doing to your bottom line, your profit margin? Does it remain the same, or are you suffering a little erosion in your profit?
No, not like that. Actually, we when we calculate the MRP, we find a portion of our own percentage, and we keep it. No doubt about it. In the sense, we have to give a proper after-sales service. Even after the sales, the completion of the project, handing over to the residents association, we give them a hand holding in the sense we support them technically. Technically, they can ask any number of questions and we can give them any guidance. We can direct any contractor, any agency, and we can identify any aspects as far as our product is concerned.
Do you see? There are we do hear about these property technology platforms, though not so popular in Kerala, but elsewhere in India, they are becoming very powerful. And we have PropTiger, so many of them. So PropTech platforms are performing perhaps two functions. They bring to the buyer and the seller, and at another level, they are also doing partial due diligence. How do you see the new technology playing a role in the construction sector?
Of course, just for your information, when compared to many other giants, ours is a small activity. We never do too many constructions at a time, maximum 3-4 projects at a time. Some are just beginning stage, some are just finishing stage, some are in the middle stage. So we personally give a lot of attention. Even though we are using many technical tools, still our engineers, our managers, they give a lot of personal attention as far as the quality is concerned, because when compared to many other activities, for example, we have production, we got related, that is a processing industry.
Yes.
There you can automation is possible. Here, whatever automation possible, still you need a lot of manual labor. So definitely, I believe it is a 50-50 issue, in the sense technology is good. At the same time, sincerity of your managers and engineers are equally important.
Yeah. Technology adoption is at a very slow pace across the world, not just in India. From what I understand, even in the US, you talk about BIM and all that, but adoption is very low. I believe there's only 20% to 30% of the construction industry really use all these, modern gadgetry and technology and all that. But they're all, changing. But do you see that happening in India? You are not a big builder, you always say, but being a big builder and being an efficient builder, being a builder who delivers on quality, you may have to lean on to technology more. So, would you say that technology will have to come in a bigger way tomorrow?
No, of course, when we scale up to higher grades, definitely we need technology, and we need different types of platforms to cross-check, or even to control the human error. That is very important.
Coming to materials once again, see, several of the materials like cement or steel or whatever, the quality and their performance has changed a lot. You can't be using a steel that would corrode within 1 or 2 years today, because you will be caught by the radar. There are longer arms of the law waiting to catch you. But take the instance of cement, Portland cement or the new types of cements. How is all that helping you in reducing the gestation period, the time required to start a project, end it, and deliver? Are the materials helping you in that way?
Up to a certain extent it is, but by and large, definitely I believe a certain amount of time is required for the curing, and that way we can slightly save, maybe because of the advanced planning, that's all. Otherwise,
you mean project management?
Project management. Otherwise, as a civil construction, it requires time for curing.
That is a given.
Yeah.
You can't change it.
We can't change it. If more and more new materials comes up, definitely we can save time.
Do you use project management professionals, or are you introducing it, like teaching your own people how to manage better?
We have a set of engineers and managers, and we depend on outside consultants also.
Okay.
So definitely they train our people, but I strongly believe that it is our responsibility. Don't simply depend on others and give the responsibility to some other agency and just expect quality there. But let our own managers and engineers get accustomed to new technology and new methodology. That is very important. That way, I am happy that by this time our engineers are well equipped to take any challenges.
So, in essence, you're saying that quality needs to be an internal culture.
Definitely. There is a limit for depending other agencies. But of course, when we think about a structural engineer, when we think about an architect, definitely we have to select the best, or one among the best, so that they will give you a lot of inputs. They will give you some of their experiences.
Do you see any change in the demands of the buyers from the pre-COVID period? Pre-COVID period, when I bought a flat, I was only concerned about the amount of money I had. I didn't worry about the space. But post-COVID, people are talking about people thinking about more space because they are living, they are spending more time at home. I mean, is there a change in demand, change in perception?
By and large, that requirement also is there in the sense, for example, those who were aiming for a two-bedroom apartment, now sometimes they discuss about, is there a separate office room so that I can work from home. So that means a third bedroom, similar. But by and large, I believe in Kerala, we mainly concentrate in Kerala. Our demand pattern has not changed that much.
Okay. You didn't start out as a builder. You started only probably under a decade, as you suggested, as you said. You started out making products which can be used by homes. You didn't make homes. So from Veegaland to various, different products with the same brand. And we all know the story. You are a self-made man, and you came up, God's grace, you came up, in life, and you've tried to give back to society. How was it to start out with nothing?
You are talking about the earlier period.
Earlier period, 3 decades back, 4 decades back.
4.5 decades back.
Yeah.
That was in 1977.
77.
That time I was a bachelor. At the age of 27, I was forced to resign from a small company because that company was not growing well, and I was searching for another better job. Just for your information, my ambition was to become a scientist. That's why I am a postgraduate in physics.
Yeah.
If I get a job in ISRO or somewhere, if I were, there will not be any Veegaland or similar
But you would have probably made a rocket.
But there will not be Veegaland. So that was some sort of a pressure built in me, in the sense I am not getting a better job. At the same time, the company in which I was working is not doing well. So I was forced to start my own. And then that was the beginning of Veegaland. That was in 1977, 45 years back.
You have come a long way. You have made different products for the market, and some of the products are the market leaders, I believe, even today, despite competition coming out across India. So, I mean, that way we are all proud of you. Certainly, you are kind of an icon for anybody, an aspiring young man in Kerala. Now, looking at the way things have changed in Kerala, I mean, coming back to Kerala, things have changed in Kerala. See, when we look around, what we see are big houses shut down with nobody to live there. And there are so many houses, hundreds of thousands, probably thousands of houses across Kerala. But at the same time, we are also seeing a construction of a different kind. Do you see a new kind of community life emerging in Kerala?
No, earlier, as you know, a lot of people from Kerala went out to the Gulf area, made money, and their first ambition was to build a big house in a separate plot. And after a few years, that was very difficult to maintain that particular single house in a single particular plot. Now the trend has changed. Even if they have money, excess money, they would like to buy an apartment. The reason is all other things will be taken care of, in the sense, the maintenance, the general maintenance. Definitely there will be a association to look after many things. Otherwise, as a NRI,
sense of security is also...
self-security is very important. Sometimes only family members will be here, only elderly people will be here. So personal security is an issue. So Slowly by slowly, I think the culture of multi-story buildings and community living started. Actually, it is very late. It started in Kochi or Kerala when compared to Mumbai and all. But now that trend is very popular. Multi-story buildings, community living. There again, I used to give a lot of advice to our apartment owners association, because we have to live in this particular space, so we have to let others also have to live.
Yeah.
So initially there were a lot of issues, frictions, but now people are accustomed to all those.
In fact, keeping a dog, for instance, I myself have experienced this. Because you can't. It's like your child. You can't leave it outside and live there.
Yeah. There must be some discipline. We must have a certain amount of discipline, because others also living just next door. Certain amount of discipline must be there, and only things will work smoothly.
When you look at the way the government is supporting the construction sector, are you happy the way? Do you think more can be done, or what more do you want the government to do for the construction sector at the state level and at the national level?
Any entrepreneur, experienced entrepreneur, if he expects something to get from the government, that is quite foolish. Don't expect any leniency from the government, because they have so many other issues, so many other problems to solve, especially as a democratic government. They have to look after the basic needs. So we can demand, but at the same time don't expect they can cater.
But some governments, like for instance Maharashtra government, they all reduced the stamp duty, especially during the COVID period. Not just Maharashtra, many other governments, Bengal did that, many other governments. With the result that though they did suffer some erosion in their revenues, I think the industry sustained. Now it has all been increased to the older level. So those are the small things that the government can do. But then treating construction as an industry where bank finance can flow in much more smoothly. Those are some of those big issues that need to be tackled even today.
Again, that way, now banks are, that way, getting a loan is very easy compared to previous years.
Maybe for the buyer, not for the builder.
For the buyer. That is very important, because at least arranging a loan to the buyer is, if it is easy, that will help us also. Definitely for the builder also, especially for us, getting a loan is not a...
Credit lines have become open.
Open, comparatively open.
I think, where do we go from here? Like as an industry, do you think this industry, not just in Kerala, maybe we are not competent enough to talk about all of India, but where do you see this industry going from here? Are we likely to go in for more luxurious, more spacious apartments and built-up spaces, or are we going more in the direction of affordable housing?
I strongly believe the bottom of the pyramid is large. Then that means the ordinary people are more. Of course, there may be requirement for luxury apartments. That may be in few in numbers, whereas the basic needs are quite large. As you know, whatever said and done, India is progressing, and compared to many other countries, India is progressing. That advantage is there for the construction companies also, because more and people are getting educated, employed, either outside or inside India. So definitely the requirement for the average middle income apartments are growing, definitely growing.
Thank you very much, Kochouseph. Wonderful talking to you. We are so grateful Shri Kochouseph Chittilappilly was gracious enough to spare almost half an hour to 45 minutes with us. And we feel that this real estate vibes chat with persons like him would take us beyond the industry dynamics and into society and the concerns of society and every member of society who wants to own a house of her own. So thank you very much once again.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Gouridasan.